Welcome to the third episode of Mama Vega's Kitchen Table. In this episode, we're going to talk about you cannot build a business while running on empty. A tired woman cannot pour from an empty cup. In this episode, we're going to explain how food, sleep, stress, and emotional overload affect business decisions, and then learn why caring for your body is not selfish. It is part of building a strong business and a peaceful life. So, who wants to go first?
Well, uh, good afternoon. I'm Visha. As far as not being able to run a business on empty, I just don't have enough to give to the business because I am exhausting everything on everything else but my business. And until I can get that under control, I won't be able to make a move, really. At least that's how I feel. It feels overwhelming when you're empty.
So, it's like emotionally, it's just emotionally straining, is what you're saying.
Emotionally, mentally, you can't really keep a thought in your mind because you're so exhausted. You can't even come up with a concept because you're exhausted. And you just start doing the stuff that you know to do and doing it automatically. As you're running your life like you're a robot. You know you have to take care of the kids. You know the kids have to eat. You know the house has to be clean. These are the things that comes naturally, and you do it to avoid the fact that you are really exhausted. You do everything else but what you need to do to stop that exhaustion, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because what it is you're looking for the pleasure trap. You're looking to do something that you feel that is going to give you pleasure, and then you feel a little bit more relaxed from doing something that's pleasurable. And you look at doing a business or doing chores around the house. You look at those things, it's just exhausting to even think about it.
Yes.
So then you just say, you know what, let me just go eat that Twinkie.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, yes. Eat that Twinkie or get a big bowl of cereal or something. Just to keep your mind off of what it is that you really need to do.
So what do you think about this? What do you think about this topic?
Well, for this topic, building a business running on empty, I'm always on empty because it feels like I'm pulled in so many directions and I'm running around trying to connect all my dots. So at that time, it's like I'm tired, but I can't give up. I can't stop. Or as soon as you get to where you feel like you make a point of progress, something else happens. Or here goes this and here goes that. So it's like, how do you just stop and prioritize yourself at the same time where you're still functioning through all the chaos?
Yeah, how do you function in the middle of the chaos without resorting back to what you know, going back to the familiar, which you know is will sabotage your business.
Going back to your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Going back to you, okay, without going back to the comfort zone. One of the things that I found is just understanding about nutrition and understand about the food. What is the food doing? Because so many people these days, the reason you're exhausted is because you may not be eating the right food and fueling your body. What happens is you're eating things like the Twinkies. So you get that rush of energy, but then you also get the down crash.
Yes.
And if you're eating the right food, it should give you sustainable energy. And if you're not having the sustainable energy, or you're eating things with a lot of preservatives in it, which is chemicals, the chemicals are not feeding your body. What they're doing is they're eating, especially like say chips. It's telling you, I want more, I want more, I want more. So you end up eating more than you should. You get overweight. When you're overweight, you get tired. And you end up on this circle. Well, I'm tired and I don't feel like doing it. Or I'm mentally exhausted, so I'm going to go back to sleep. And sometimes people don't recognize that I'm going to get back in bed and go back to sleep. That might be a sign of a little bit of depression as well.
Yes.
So it's it's a culmination of a lot of things, and they all intertwine and they mix together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the first step in all of this is recognizing it.
Okay.
Like what you were saying, with you coming today, you had to talk yourself out of it, because it's like, I know I can get help when I go there, and I want to talk about this, and I feel light after I talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't face them without getting this stuff done. I've got to fold my clothes
Yes.
in order for me to go ahead, because I can't look them in the face. So doing what we're doing right now is that accountability.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So because you have that accountability, you know, I'm tired. I was up to 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm still a little tired, but I just can't face them without me knowing that I did what I was supposed to do. Because you know, you had homework from the last time we talked.
Yes, I did.
And that was on Friday.
Yes.
Right? We talked on Friday. This
Yes.
is now Monday.
Yes.
So you would have to come up with a whole bunch of excuses to tell us why you couldn't get your clothes folded
in 4 days.
You got a lot to explain. And like you said, you were trying to come up with all kinds of excuses, but you knew none of them was going to fly.
It was not going to fly at all.
Because you knew. You already knew. So sometimes it's that accountability that gets you out of it. And then once you do it,
Mm-hmm.
you feel better about it, because you're like, you know what? I could have done this from the beginning. Look at how much time I wasted on trying to figure out how not to do this.
And I'm telling you, I kept looking at that bag and was like, oh, I don't want to do this. But this morning, I popped up and was like, you know what? Let me get these clothes folded. Because how can I honestly say that I want to make a move if I can't do something as simple as folding the clothes that I said I was going to fold?
Exactly.
It starts with the small things. And that's what keeps me moving forward. Is I know any small step towards my being a whole person or the best version of myself, that's what keeps me moving. All of this is an accomplishment. Me getting out the bed and automatically making up my bed and making sure everything is in order, that's something small. When usually I'll kick it to the side, or I'll find a nice little pile and wipe the dust around it, but it's clean because there's no dust, but there's a pile of stuff right here on the corner, and pretty soon that pile will become my prison.
Right.
Basically.
And remember, what did we say last time? You do one thing.
Yeah, one thing at a time.
And you touch that one thing, and when you finish with that one thing, everything else is, you only touch it one time. If it's a pair of scissors and you cut something with the pair of scissors, when you're done using the scissors, they don't go on top of the counter.
No.
They go in the drawer where they belong, because now you touched it one time. If you put it on top of the counter, you got to still go back to pick it up again to put it in the drawer.
Yes.
But if when you're finished with it, you put it where it belongs. And if we would do that, then we would have less chaos to start with.
Yes.
When you wash your clothes and then you finish drying them, because you don't wash them and leave them in the washing machine, because you know they're going to mold.
Yes.
Right? So you know, I can't do that, because now if I do that, and if you started looking at, if I don't fold those clothes when they come out and they still a little bit hot, they're going to be wrinkled. And now I just made more work for myself, because now I have to iron them in order to get the wrinkles out, or I got to steam them or put them back in the dryer.
And it's so crazy, because I've made excuses for that too. When I'm ironing my baby's clothes in the morning, I'm like, oh, this is keeping me focused. That's why I don't fold my clothes right out the dryer. It gives me something to do, you know. I was justifying why I didn't fold the clothes, and now I have a new project. I'm staying focused on the creases. You know, making excuses for my procrastination.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So what you have to add?
So on my end, you guys say that I suffer from avoidance. So I'm gonna do everything I gotta do not to think about the things that keep me in that place. And I had to focus upon, you know, cleaning as I go, or putting it right away, because then it'll get piled up, and I hate clutter. So it's like I'm battling two battles. But if I clean it as I go, or as soon as they get clean, ironing is extra work. I don't have time for it. So as soon as they come out, the pants are getting hung up, and the shirts are getting hung up, and I fold it right away. I'll stop what I'm doing and take that little bit of time to help me get ahead, and then it's done. I don't got to worry about that task. I have to move on to the next one. But But if you don't, then I'm back in chaos again, on top of the chaos I already have.
And it sits in your chest,
Well,
right
mine's in my
here.
stomach.
Mine sit in my chest.
I wear everything in my stomach. Stomach is a disaster, so it messes up my gut.
Mm.
Your gut alignment, and then bloating, and people don't see that because I'm carrying everything in my body. Everything, like they say, you wear your feelings on your shoulders or your heart on your shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is in my stomach, and until I address the underlying issue, stomach ain't gonna never be right. And your stomach is your core. They say your brain is like the command center, right?
Mm-hmm.
But your stomach is the power supply,
Yeah.
and everything comes from there. Like you digest the food and take the food in, and it goes out to everything else. And with that out, everything just cloudy. You can't think right. Stomach's always hurting, so I have to not do too many things. I'll just shut down and won't do nothing.
So what are you doing to try to minimize the extra stress or the emotional overload? What have you done? We also talked about family the last time too.
Mm-hmm.
About sometimes you just have to, just say no. They said just say no to drugs. Sometimes we also talked about this. It wasn't necessarily on the podcast, but sometimes family is like a drug.
Yes, they are. Yes,
they are. Where you're addicted to it.
Yes.
You're addicted to it. And then it's like, I can't break loose of it, even though it's toxic. And sometimes people are addicted to the toxicness, yes, if you want to call it that, toxicness,
mm-hmm.
that toxicity, mm-hmm. Yes, that people are putting on you. And you're like, well, I need to do this because you've been conditioned where somebody says, oh, that's your aunt, oh, that's your cousin, mm-hmm. oh, that's your mother, oh, that's your brother. Mm-hmm. And so you put up with it because if you don't do it, then you have everybody pouncing on you and telling you how wrong you are not to do it. Mm-hmm. But what people don't understand is that's a form of abuse.
Yes.
Because you're telling another person, you must stay in this abusive situation. That's what you're telling them. Mm-hmm. You're telling them, I condone what they're doing to you, mm-hmm. and you must stay in that abusive situation. Yes. But yet what they're asking you to tolerate, they wouldn't tolerate it themselves.
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. It took, I've been practicing, intentionally practicing cutting off, releasing. I'm not going to use cutting off, mm-hmm. Releasing those people out of my life. And it was not easy. It was not easy at all because we were so internet and taught to do not go outside the family because it was so many of us. You don't play with other kids. You got cousins. You got like 15 cousins that live up the street. Why would you go and get other kids and bring them home, But within that cousin and all of the relationship, the family ship or whatever you want to call it, it was nothing but toxicity. Everybody's down on everyone. If someone gets dressed up too much, they're like, why are you dressed like that? All we're doing is going here and there. But then when you go out with them, they're dressed to the T's while you have on sweats because they told you that you are dressing to whatever, You try to bless someone with something. Oh, you're stupid. Why are you going to give them that? So I learned once I cut off the main characters in my life so that I can think, I had to silence the noise. And I went through straight, what you call that? Withdrawal. Went through withdrawal. I had to actually die to the life that I thought that I had so that I can grab the life that I know I deserve. Because I knew from the beginning that I was different. I knew that I didn't fit in, but because I was the caretaker, I assumed that that title. And then I started finally telling myself, I don't care what title you are, mother, brother, sister, cousins, grandma, grandpa, if you hurt me, you have to go. You have to go. especially because this is habitual. This isn't just happened. This happened from childhood all the way up, you know. And I'm not saying that, you know how people blame their people. No, I blame myself because I don't blame myself, but I give myself grace for not understanding that my position was more powerful than I thought it was.
What you did is you accepted responsibility for your inaction.
Okay. Okay.
Because that's what it is. You accepted responsibility.
Yes.
Because you're not blaming them, you're not blaming yourself. You're just saying, I accept the responsibility for me not taking an action to do something. So it was your inaction.
Yes.
And that's something that it's nice because that segues into exactly what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't fold those clothes, that's also an inaction.
Yes. Yes.
But you accepted responsibility and you looked at it like, you know what, I better go ahead and do this.
Yes.
So that's what's lacking, I think, when we look at our title. You cannot build a business while running on empty.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not accepting, people don't always accept the responsibility of how they got to be empty.
Yes.
How did you get to that emptiness? How did you get to that draining? You allowed other people to drain from you. People call that, letting vampires suck all your blood,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then once they suck all your blood, they leave you alone. I'm done with you. I don't need you. You just skin and bones.
Yes.
I don't need you anymore.
Yes.
You don't have anything for me to continue to take. But people can only take when you allow them to take.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we don't always look at. We'll say, I can't believe they keep doing this to me. No, you keep allowing them to do it to you.
Mm-hmm.
People can only do to you what you continue to allow. Now, we know that there may be exceptions to that rule. I understand that. So we're talking generalities. But at some point, we have to say enough.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we're going to do or what we're not going to do. It's almost like you have to train people how to treat you and how they're not going to treat you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you keep seeing you're doing something and people are not showing up, what do? That person is not worth my time.
Yeah.
And that's the way you have to look at it.
Yes.
And the reason it's not worth the time is like we talked earlier, and I said, I can do what I'm doing, but I can't do more than I'm not going to meet you halfway.
Yeah.
I might only do 10%.
Yes.
Because you're the one who have to do the 90%.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, I might say, okay, I might do 40%, you do 60. The next time I might do a little bit less, and next time I do a little bit less.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about our kids, right?
Yes.
When
yes.
you're trying to teach them something, you have to sit there with them day in, day out to get them to do what you want them to do. But eventually you do it where you don't have to sit there and watch them do anything because I already trained you to do it. People don't necessarily like that word train, but that's what we did. We just trained them to do it.
Yes.
If you teach somebody to do something, if you teach a dog to sit, they say, I'm teaching the dog to sit. I'm teaching the dog to sit. No, you're teaching that dog, you're training that dog to sit.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, you training them.
And it's the same thing. And people have trained us. We have been trained how we're going to respond. And we have to untrain ourselves that I'm not going to allow you to do that. You're not going to talk to me any old kind of way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have a pet peeve with people making, when you want me to do something, making a command statement. And
Mm-hmm.
what I mean by that is like you'll say, close the door. And you won't say, will you close the door?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you say close the door, I'm going to look at you like I didn't hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not giving me the option to make a decision whether I want to close the door or not.
Yes.
I'm old enough to make that decision whether I feel like closing it for you or not.
Yeah.
But when you say close the door, you're dictating, you're telling me to do something.
Okay.
I had someone send me a text message and it said, oh, it's so-and-so's birthday. Send them a text message. I looked at the message and I kept doing what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
They still haven't gotten that happy birthday. Okay?
Yeah.
Because you're dictating to me and telling me that you want me to send it to this person, as opposed to saying, hey, did you know it's so-and-so's birthday today? Even just that comment, oh, today's so-and-so's birthday. Just wanted to remind you, it's so-and-so's birthday today. You left it up to me if I want to send it to them or not.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you tell me, you like making it like I have to do it. No, I don't have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
you just made it. They're not going to get a happy birthday because you just told me what
Yeah.
I had to do.
Yeah, I can understand that.
You know, and that's something we so often will just automatically, oh yeah, you know, you don't see what that message really was. That message is a message to control your actions. And you think, oh, no, they're not being anything. They're being themselves. That's a behavior where I want to be dictatorial to everybody who I'm telling all these people what to do. No, you're not going to tell me what to do. And we have to get to that point. And when you get to that point, trust me, you will feel less drained. You will feel like you can get your business done because you're not so stressed with handling what everybody else is dictating to you.
Yes.
Because that's what it is. Oh, you need to go shopping today. You need to go get this. You need to go pick up the kids. You need to take care of your cousin. You need to go, by the time you finish, you go, I need to go to the bathroom, but I really never got a chance to do that either.
Yes.
So we have to learn, what is it that's really draining us? Is it things that we are doing that's draining us, or is it things that we are allowing other people to do to us or to dictate to us that's draining us? That's number one, and that's the emotional part.
Yes.
And then we have to look at, what are we eating? Are we eating foods where it's making us tired? Because if you eat food and right after you ate that food, you're starting to feel tired, that's the wrong food. You shouldn't have been eating it.
Okay.
Because now you're making your body work so hard to try to digest that food that you wore your body out. Your body is, look, I'm tired. You wore me out trying to digest all this stuff you just gave me, so you just made me tired. Right?
Yeah.
That's what's going on with that. But if you eat the right food, oh man, I can run around here, I can go do this, I can go for a walk, and then people looking at you like, are you ever run a battery? Do you ever sit down? How come you doing this? Why are you doing that? Are you tired? No, I'm not tired. You can then go to bed at 4 o'clock and you may get up 6, 7 o'clock. And it's not that you didn't get enough sleep. Your body was able to rest like it should have because you went to sleep, you got that deep sleep, and now you're up and you're ready to go. And you're like, okay, let me go for a walk. Let me go do this. Let me go do that. Oh, I can think clearly. Oh, what's on my schedule today? We also talked about creating that system, that schedule. When you have a schedule, you don't feel drained, and and it's also, I won't say a crutch, but having a schedule and everything that you can look at, it keeps you focused, where this is what I can do. And if you say, I'm not going to do anything that's not on there. I had a meeting with somebody else and she goes, oh, I can't believe that the coach, changed the schedule and now they're not going to have a meeting. And, and she's just going on. And I said, and during that period of time, you would have had to take your kids to go do whatever. And now that it was canceled, I said, what is your daughter doing? She goes, well, she in there just watching TV. I said, and you are now stressed because she doesn't have to go somewhere, as opposed to you taking this 2 hours, and that's your self-care, because during that time you would have been sitting out on a field. Now you've got free time right now where you can go and sit and do something for you. That's your self-care. You just got a built-in self-care that you didn't even think you had.
Yes.
I said, so tell me again, why are you stressed? I said, I don't understand that. Just explain that to me. And she just started laughing. She was like, you know what? I never thought about it that way. I said, you stressed about something because it gave you time.
Because it's out of her norm.
Her norm. It's out of the norm. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I said, we have to think about things and stop worrying about those things, because that's a self-imposed stress. That was self-imposed. You didn't have to be stressed about that. It's like, oh, well, somebody, you're supposed to go for an appointment. Somebody cancels. How much time is it going to take you to do this? And how much time are you going to take to do that? You know how I look at it? I just put something else in that slot.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You just freed up some time for me. Okay.
And something that I might have had to do later, I can now put it in that slot, or I can go sit and do nothing. I can go watch a movie, do whatever I'm going to do. But what I can do now is I don't have to do that, which I was already stressed to try to hurry up and get ready to go, to do this, to get there, put makeup on, go, Now I'm looking at, I don't have to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have to look and train ourselves to view things a different way and put a different label on it. So it's not the negative label, but how do I take this and turn it into a positive label?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to do with us, is to try to make it where it's a positive label for us and a positive thinking. So what do you have to say, madam, over here? You sitting here a little bit quiet.
Well,
you chuckling, but you're not saying anything.
For me, why I run on empty is because I didn't have boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have boundaries, and I put myself last.
Yes.
And I didn't consider myself in the factor. I would do everything for everybody else and no time for myself. Or the things that didn't feel right or sit well with me, I let them slide to avoid the confrontation, because I do have a very strong personality, and I have a strong presence. So to avoid that, because I've always been labeled as rough around the edges or too aggressive, angry, which it wasn't. It's just I'm standing up for myself. So I got programmed to not keep my boundaries and just let them fall by the wayside. And then at the end of the day, I'm exhausted because if somebody canceled on me, instead of me finding something else for me to do, well, how can I accommodate you, and how can I make it better so we can figure about you? Wait a minute, you already wasted my time, so let me take that back for myself and do something for me. Mm-hmm. And that's where I ran out on empty until I was like, no, wait a minute. So in my organization, I probably have to schedule myself first. I'll fill my calendar up with everything I need to do and schedule around that. So
that's awesome.
And that's a good thing, that what you just said. Put on your schedule what is your priorities, the things that you have to do. Mm-hmm. We're coming up on the first of the month, so we all know the first of the month we have some things that are deadline, right? Mm-hmm. So on that calendar, this may help us not to run on empty. So if you have a calendar in your phone, one of the things you know the things that come up every single month that you have to do.
Yes.
And you can say, okay, this is the time every single month that I'm going to do it. And you put it on repeating. Mm-hmm. You just put it in your calendar, and you can say, this repeats every single month on this day at this time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then you know something else, that every single month I need to do this on this day at this time. Mm-hmm. And by the time you do that and you have that on your schedule, then it's going to be whatever else comes up. It has to work around all of that. If somebody looks at you and say, oh, can you do this at this time? You say, that does not align with my time frame.
Okay. I like that.
That's it. Mm-hmm. You don't owe an explanation, especially when it's family. They'll try to say, oh, well, why can't you do it? It doesn't align with what's on my schedule.
Mm-mm. And do you know, I was doing that. I was doing that with people that were close to me, my family that were close to me. And I just kept repeating the same thing over and over again so that I wouldn't get angry and start lashing out because you're not listening to me.
Exactly.
I have a problem with, everyone knows that nobody calls me until after 10 o'clock. But I still have one that'll call me at 7 o'clock in the morning when she knows that the baby is still asleep. And I don't need her to be, woke up at that time. That's my little time that I can drink my lemon water or, pray over the kids or whatever I'm going to do in the morning time. That is my time. And that's always been that time. But still, I still get that call. And it's stressful to me because I'll look at the phone and I will instantly get mad and be like, now this heifer knows. And that's what I would think. This so-and-so knows that not to call me until after a certain time. But every day you call me. So I had to stop answering the phone. I won't even have my ringer on until after 10 o'clock now. Because if I don't, I will feel obligated. I would feel inside, I would have that inner war.
Well, something, it may sound drastic, but sometimes you have to go to the sublime with things. Mm-hmm. And maybe that person has to be blocked until 10 o'clock so that your phone doesn't even ring, it doesn't even go through, nothing happens. Mm-hmm. And they get a message on the other side where they know they've been blocked. Mm-hmm. And then you unblock it after 10 o'clock, okay? And then when they call you, why was I blocked? I told you don't call me until after 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Or I'm not available until 10 o'clock.
So sometimes you have to go to Sublime because she will know that she was blocked.
Yeah,
you can block and unblock.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do that one.
Yeah. So if you can do that, she will clearly know she's been blocked.
Yes.
And then when she wants to know what, and again, what it is I gotta teach you
how to treat me.
How to treat me, because I already told you the way I wanted to be treated, and you're not doing it. You're trying to push my boundaries, and when you see that, now you are stressed, right?
Yes.
So
I don't want to come. I'm struggling to not come out of character.
Exactly. And
Right.
so what you have to do is you're taking control, and you're putting boundaries there. And if it means that I've got to build this brick wall, and my wall has to be built this high in order to now keep you from doing something, but it's not even keeping that person from doing it, it's keeping me from reacting to what you're doing.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in these safety measures so I can protect myself from you. So block it. You know, you can do that the night before, because if you say nobody can call me after 8, 9 o'clock, whatever that time is.
Yep.
If you know that there are people who want to do that, you guys get blocked too.
Block it, turn the phone off, don't turn it on into that time.
Because now when you block, you can't even leave me a message. You can't do any of that. So I don't need to hear it. I don't need to see your text message. I don't need to see anything, because you're not going to get in my head. What do they say? I'm not going to let you rent space in my mind for free.
Yes.
Because that's what you're doing.
Yes. And then the thing about it is I have to do it guilt free.
Yes.
Because this person is the person that I took care of. We grew up and I took care of him. I was the oldest. I'm the oldest.
Right.
You know, so she was told and I was told I'm responsible for her. You know, and I've always been. You know, no matter what it is, you know, I'm gonna come through. But now I don't. And the thing that I'm dealing with right now is the inner fight. Even though I did what was right for me.
Right.
But then now I'm like, dang, I shouldn't have. But then I have to tell myself again, no, I'm protecting myself. I'm putting up boundaries. People are not used to my boundaries. I have to always tell myself that they're going to resist because this is not what they're used to.
But you don't even have to tell yourself they're going to resist because they're not used to it, because that's you overthinking it.
Yeah.
All you have to do is say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do, because you don't know. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I don't know whether you're going to resist or not. What I do know is this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I for a fact know this is what I'm doing, and I know why I'm doing this, to protect myself. How you react to it, why you react to it,
that's not my business.
Exactly.
Okay. I gotta stay in my lane. I gotta stay in my own lane.
You already know. That's what I'm gonna say.
That's not my business.
That has nothing to do with you. What you are doing is only thing that has to do with you. This is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it, and I'm doing this for me. Okay. I don't need to worry about why you're reacting. I don't need to know how you're going to react. I don't know what you're going to do, right? What I do know. And when you want to know, well, why did you do this? I did it because that's what I wanted to do. You don't owe anybody an explanation for protecting yourself.
Okay.
You don't have to explain, well, I did it because so-and-so was doing it. Now you're getting all into the gossip, and then that person is going to go repeat it to somebody else, and they're going to repeat it to somebody else. The only thing that they can repeat is the fact that it was a choice. Yeah. But why was that a choice? It was a choice.
Yeah.
Why was it a choice? It was a choice.
A choice that was best for me.
You don't even have to say that. It was a choice.
Yeah.
You don't have to say because it was for me. It was my choice. Well, why did you do that? It was my choice. You do not owe the explanation, because that explanation still keeps you in that whole cycle of I feel that I have to say something and justify my behavior. Okay. Because when you say, because it was what was best for me, you just justified why you did it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
You don't owe an explanation to justify why you did it.
Okay.
You did it. Why did you do it? I did it. Yeah. That's not like you stole something and somebody said, why'd you do it? Yeah. Now you got to stand before people and justify why you did it. But when you make a choice like that and you protecting yourself, I don't have to explain to you why I'm protecting myself. I don't have to explain to you who I'm protecting myself from. Yes. I made a choice.
Just stand on.
That's it.
And that's my problem, over explaining.
And that is. And now, as soon as you over explain, my mother always said, don't give them the ammunition to use against you.
Yeah, because somebody told me that when you over explain, it makes you look like you're not sure of yourself.
Exactly.
Okay.
It loses your credibility.
Yeah.
And when you over explain, you can be giving too much information. And now the next time you hear it, somebody else is hearing this and somebody else is hearing this.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you ask me, if you say, oh, well, I can't do such and such and such and such, right? And I say, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to ask you why. I don't need, because why do I need to clutter my head with why you not doing something and why you made a choice to do something?
Yeah.
That's none of my business.
Mm-hmm.
You telling me well, I can't come and I can't do this and
Yeah.
Okay. Because how you not doing something, how is that impacting me? It's not.
No, it's not.
How you not doing something, is that really impacting somebody else when they want you to do something? It's not impacting you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really not impacting them. It's something they want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's convenient for them.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Over explaining is something that we've been conditioned to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's gonna stop. I gotta practice it.
You got anything to add to this before we close out our little session today?
It was a good session.
She just over here shaking her head.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I'm done. Well, that's the close of this little session. And we have a session that's coming up, and that's going to be our episode 4. And it's going to be called From Trinkets to Treasure, Organizing Your Gifts into a Business.
Mm-hmm.
That one should be interesting. How do we organize our gifts into a business? Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for the next episode.
That was some good stuff.
Real good.
That was some good stuff.